Hi, this is Roisin from Sweet Eve Designs. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be showing you how to design this amazing water shaker cake topper in Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to be teaching you step by step how to design this cake topper using only images from Design Space, so you don't need to worry about exporting anything externally or buying any external files. This is great for Cricut Access users. I'm going to show you how you can build this cake topper from scratch, and also some tricks along the way around how you can use different tools in Design Space such as contouring and weld to kind of build up your cake toppers. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you like, comment and subscribe to my channel. This really helps me to keep all of this content coming to you for free, and I will be bringing you a part 2. It may be up here if you are watching at a time when this is available, and this is where I'm going to talk you through the assembly of this cake topper. So I'll have all the materials that you need to use, and I will show you step by step how to assemble this amazing cake topper. So if you're also interested in designing cake toppers, then make sure to check out some of these videos which will give you step-by-step guides on how to design different cake toppers that have different techniques such as motion and light. So thank you for joining me, and I really hope you enjoy this video. And as I said, please like, comment and subscribe to show me your love. I will really appreciate it. Take care. Bye.
Okay, so let's get started. Remember, you'll find all the image and font details in the description below. So first we're going to start with our shadow box, and we're going to delete the bottom layer because we will not need that. Then we're going to go ahead and grab a circle from the left hand shapes panel, and then we're going to make that circle slightly bigger. So we want it to be bigger than the inner circle, the largest inner circle, but not bigger than the actual square. And we need to make sure that this is completely in the center, so we need to align and center. Grab the circle and the first layer, and then we're going to slice. Weld the original circle back together, and then we're going to take that circle and the second layer, and then we're going to slice. And then we're going to repeat that for the very last layer. The reason why we weld the circle back together is to ensure that each time we slice, it's in exactly the same place. Then we can go ahead and delete all the bits that we don't need. So what we should only be left with is just 3 circles that look like a shadow box. So rather than a square, you now have circles. You can use the panel on the right hand side to pull your layers up and down so that you've got them in the right order, or you can center the front, center the back. I'm going to go ahead and change my colors. I like to do this as I go through my design, and I'm going to resize it to 6 inches. Grab another circle and also make that circle 6 inches. Go ahead and duplicate and make that circle slightly smaller. We're then going to align and center and slice. This is going to give us our first border. Go ahead and delete those 2 inner circles, and if you want to, like I am, just change the color to the color that you're going to use. And you can see it fits on here nicely. Now we're going to do a slight offset of 0.09. This just makes the border slightly bigger and just gives us a bit more grace. Then we're going to change the color, and then we're going to go back to the original border, and we're going to do 2 insets. So this is going to be going inside of that original border shape, and I'm just changing my colors, and I'm going to do the inset again. So in total, you're going to have 4 layers to your border. I just went and changed the color to blue, and then I was happy with the colors. Now let's grab our doily, and we're going to need to send it to the back and resize it. So you want it to be slightly bigger than the circle, so that the kind of doily parts on the outside, if that makes sense, are not touching the pink layer, but that's a little bit of a gap. And then we're going to align and center. Now we can't use this doily as it is because it's a solid shape. So to get around that, we're going to duplicate the back layer of the border. So my pink layer, which is the biggest border, we're going to use our contour, and we're going to just retain the inner circle. We're going to align, center and slice. This will mean that this doily will be exactly the same size as the largest border. Now let's go ahead and align, center and group. And that is basically the main part of our shaker. So now let's grab a shell, and we are going to resize it to make it slightly smaller, and go ahead and hide this image so that you can work with it a bit easier. Now you can see here that if we were to do it as is, we'd have lots of bits. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete every single part of this shell, apart from this pearl and the main part. We're going to apply a small offset of 0.02 because when I tried to cut this out before, it was really delicate, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete the original and change the color. Now duplicate this, and then we're going to use our contour and we're going to hide all contours. And then we're going to use this to kind of open up some parts of our shell. So I'm going to open up all of the bottom, and then I'm going to do like a slight pattern at the top, but there's no right or wrong way of doing this. And I went ahead and I changed this to a green color. Go ahead and duplicate and send that first one to the back so it doesn't get in your way. And then we're going to change the color, go back to contour, and then hide all contours, and then we're going to open up some other parts of the shell, including the middle part, and leaving some of the other bits open. We're going to duplicate and we're going to send that one to the back, and then with the last one we're going to change the color and we're going to hide all contours, and we want it to be a solid shape. Go ahead and duplicate that so you have two, and then we're going to send to the back and align all of this and center. So it's just a part of process of kind of trial and error to get this how you want. Then go ahead and change your pearl color if you'd like to, and then you can unhide your original design and then just resize your shell. You don't want it to be too big because it is going to be on the bottom, but equally, you know, you don't want it to be too small. So just resize until you're happy. And then we're going to grab our bubbles, and then we want to go ahead and delete the pink part because we're not going to use that. Then we're going to get a circle and we're going to slice out those top two bubbles, and we're going to go ahead and delete everything that we don't need. And we're going to repeat that again, and we're going to slice out the top bubble. So you'll be left with two bubbles. You could use contour for this, but I find it easier to just use the slicing tool. Then I just resized and made one slightly bigger, and really there's no right or wrong way of doing this. So I just made the next one smaller, so they're going down gradually in size, and then I duplicate the last one so it's the same size as the third bubble, and then I'm just going to reposition them really in a way that I think looks nice, and apply an offset of 0.08, and I'm going to change the color of my acetate, and I'm also going to change the color of my bubbles and group. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to duplicate this 2 more times and just position them roughly where you like them to be. Now let's add our little starfish. These are quite straightforward. So you just add your starfish to your canvas and make it slightly smaller. Then I'm going to apply a small offset of 0.07, and then I'm going to change the color. So now you've applied your offset, just go ahead and place it roughly where you want it to go, and then you might want to resize it slightly, and then go ahead and duplicate this 2 more times and change the color so that you'll have some different color starfish. Now it's time for the tail. So let's hide everything else so we can focus on the tail. So as you can see, if you were to cut it out like this, there would be lots of different parts which we don't want. So we're going to slice, and when we slice, we will be deleting these bits we don't want, and then we'll be left with this lovely shape. We're going to change the color and duplicate it and change the color again. So this is going to be our second layer of our mermaid tail, and hide all the contours. Now I kind of just sort of used a pattern to take out some of the scales and all of the bottom scales, and I went ahead and duplicated again. I changed it to pink, and then I hid all contours. So that's going to give me my 3 layers of my mermaid tail, and then I just went ahead and arranged, aligned, centered and grouped so that I could have my mermaid tail as I want it, and there you go. So rotate it because we're going to want it to be up this way, and then we're going to flip horizontally. Unhide the rest of your project. I just made my canvas a bit bigger so I could see what I was doing, and I just repositioned my mermaid tail, and I went and found a text called Bogue, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I typed out my name. So I used the name Eve because it's for my sweet Eve, and then I made it slightly bigger so it's easier to work with, and I ungrouped and I moved the letters together. Now you can use the letter spacing to do this, but I like to do it manually. I feel they come out much nicer. Make sure that you align at the bottom. That's going to make sure that they're all in the right place, and change the color. Then I'm going to apply an offset of 0.01, and I'm going to change the color, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that 3 more times. So in total, I'm going to have 5 layers for my text. Then I'm going to group and resize my name, and then I'm just going to work a little bit on the positioning of the name and the tail. duplicate one of the starfish and then make it smaller, and then we're going to change the color, and that's going to be for our name. Really cute. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my mermaid seaweed. So I'm going to resize, and then it's just about thinking about the positioning of this seaweed. So in this instance, I felt it would look better if I flipped this horizontally, and then I just went ahead and moved things on my canvas to just kind of get a feel for where I'd like it to be positioned. So I decided that this one I wanted to be nearer to the front, so going off the top layers just underneath the shell. I duplicated again, and then I sent to the back, and I just continued to do that, duplicated, changed the color so that, you know, there's a bit more dimension, flipped it and span it round, and that one I sent to the back. So when it comes to doing this seaweed, I would suggest maybe just cutting out a few more than you might actually use, because it is going to be an organic process and you're just going to be adding them in anywhere that kind of looks good. You'll see in my assembly video, some of them I split in half. So just have an extra few just in case, because you might find that you don't end up positioning them exactly like this when you put your design together, and that's absolutely okay. One of the other things that I did was duplicate the starfish because I missed out one. So you'll have an extra starfish, and I just changed the color. And now it's all come together. I was just thinking about final colors, so just change some of the colors of the main parts of the cake topper, just to help me think about what color cardstock I'd like to use. Now, because I know that many of you are really interested in the sizing, I used the doily as kind of like my indicator for the size of my cake topper. So I made my doily 7.6 inches wide. Then go ahead and duplicate this, and then you're going to delete on the duplicated one basically anything that's sticking out. So you're going to delete all of your starfish, you're going to delete all of your seaweed, you're going to delete all of your bubbles. So you should only be left with the main doily, the shadow box, the border, the mermaid tail, and the shell. And the reason why we do this is because if we were to weld all of this together, it would be a massive shape. So this is just going to weld together, and this is going to give us a really good backing. I went ahead and changed the color and I duplicated it. So I'm going to have two backings, which is really important for this cake topper. We're going to align and center, and then we're going to send to the back. Now for the shaker, we're going to duplicate the third part of our border, and we're going to hide the contour. We're going to go ahead and we're going to duplicate that. Now this could either be for your water shaker, or if you're doing a normal shaker, this would just be your acetate layer. We're going to align, and we're going to center, group, and send to the back. And effectively, that is your cake topper. Now, I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I would love to see anything that you create based on this design tutorial. Make sure you check out some of my other videos, and also there will be a part 2 of this coming. So once that's available, it should be linked in this video. And as I said, please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really helps my channel to grow, gets me out to more people. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for kind of more shorter, fun tutorials. And thanks for your time. Bye.